Hey guys, good evening. My name's Thompson. This is Ben, our senior developer. Ben, how many years have you been working for Laminar?
It's measured in decades.
Okay, so it's older than I am, but that's okay. And yeah, we're really happy to be back here at FSExpo in Vegas, super fun. Our team has been preparing for this for, a long time. The Wolf Pack is coming together, it's gonna be great. We have a nice big crew coming this year and a booth over there in the main thing. But the really big news that we want to share is that 12.1 is finally in RC. We're really happy about that. So,
Thank you.
So Ben, tell us a little bit more about what's in RC and what's coming after.
Let's see. So, X-Plane 12.1.0 is our biggest patch to X-Plane 12 since we released. It is as big as the previous two patches combined. We touched a ton of stuff. It's a really big graphics update for us. We got in bloom and depth of field, as well as a screenshot tool, so people have been taking really great photos with it. A whole bunch of quality improvements to the graphics, new particle effects. Try having your landing gear collapse, scrape an engine. It looks really, really cool. It's also a really big update to the weather engine. We did a lot of work on how we blend clouds together, especially when real weather is on and you have different storm systems coming together. And it's actually also a big update for our systems, Avionics. The G1000 got an upgrade. We put in an entirely new API for third parties to create their own glass displays. It's going to have much better performance. This was just a really big release for us. Here's a couple pictures. Of the clouds, of the night views. We gave Las Vegas an update because we had to because we were coming here. And our add-on developers got into this too, and they took some really nice pictures using the new screenshot tool. So this has been a big release for us, but we have more stuff coming. So in a few minutes, we want to tell you about some of the things that the development team is working on now that we're hoping to get to you really soon. And the first area is some new things coming with X-Plane's Avionics. We are putting synthetic vision into X-Plane's G1000. So this is going to be synthetic vision. You'll be able to see terrain, water, obstacles, as well as things from your flight plan and route built into the sim. This will also work with add-on aircraft that use our G1000. And we're driving this off of the data we already have on your graphics card, so it should be very high performance. We're hoping not to have a frame rate hit, even though you get all of this extra detail. So here's a picture of what it looks like. This is an approach, and you can see the arc that the GPS expects you to fly as hoops in the sky, as well as terrain and obstacle avoidance. So that's going to be a really nice improvement to the G1000. We're also working on weather radar, and this is a realistic simulation of how the weather radars work in an airliner. So it's not just a map of radar, it's actually sweeping up and back. You can tilt it just like in a real airliner. If you tilt the plane, you can fly with or without stabilization. And once again, we're doing this on the graphics card using the data we already have so that we can get all this detail and still have it be high performance. The weather radar also does ground reflections, right? So it's a radar if you're flying and there's a mountain ahead, it's going to bounce off the mountain. Let's see if we can get the video going. So this is just a little bit of in-game capture of our 737 with the new radar, and Philip is flying into Innsbruck. And if you've ever flown into Innsbruck, you know that the mountains are next to you, they're above you, and what you see is that the terrain reflections are showing up on the radar, and you can see the sweep going up and back in the simulation. So we're pretty excited about that. A couple more things we're working on. Dark cockpits. We've done a lot of work on X-Plane 12 since it shipped, and this is probably the one biggest thing that we hear about most, is that the cockpits are too dark. So there's really two issues here. The first question is the image we're rendering correct? Is X-Plane's lighting model doing the right thing? And the answer to this is actually yes. We spent a bunch of time looking at it, and we're pretty sure the lighting is working the way it should. The second question is this something that you would like to fly? And the answer to that is absolutely not. The cockpits are wicked dag. Here's a picture that I sometimes show of my son in a real Airbus cockpit, and you can see that the sky is really bright and the cockpit's really dark. Here's the thing. This picture was from my iPhone 10 years ago, and it's a lousy looking picture, right? No one actually wants to fly a flight sim that looks like this. The problem we have is exposure. We have the right lighting model, but what we don't have is your brain. Your brain takes all these different light levels and allows you to see really bright things and really dark things at the same time. So we made this roadmap after X-Plane 12 shipped of what we wanted to do. We wanted to fix any bugs in the lighting model we could find, and we did find some. They were mostly color bugs and not brightness bugs. We wanted to do more careful measurements of the real world. So we give light meters to real pilots, we do ray traces, we have a bunch of things we do to try to validate that the lighting is right, and we're mostly done with that, and we think the lighting is right. And then the final step is, if the lighting is right, but the exposure looks ugly, it's time to fix exposure. So what we're going to do is bring back exposure fusion. Exposure fusion is a feature that you might have in your smartphone that takes an image and exposes different parts of the image at different brightnesses in a way that looks realistic but lets you see more detail. So let me show you a picture. This is a 3-part image of a really difficult scene for X-Plane. This is a hard case. This is Innsbruck with thunderstorms, with the sun directly behind the clouds with silver linings and blooms, and the Airbus cockpit backlit. So this is a really hard scene with bright outside world and a dark cockpit. In the left third of the image, you're seeing what we ship now, and it's really hard to see inside the cockpit. In the middle third of the image, this is with bug fixes. The mountains look dark when they're in the shadow of the clouds like they should. This is something we fixed that's going to make the images more realistic. But the cockpit is still really dark. And on the third side, this is a little tough to see in the ballroom of a hotel, but on the third side, exposure fusion is bringing up the brightness of the cockpit so you can start to see some of that texture and detail even though it's darker. Let me show you one more before and after. This is off, on, and you can see that with exposure fusion off, it's really tough to see the details in the cockpit. If you move your head down in X-Plane, it will bring up the exposure, you'll be able to see everything, but while you're flying, it's dark. And with exposure fusion, you can start to see some of the tone of that metal in the Airbus cockpit. So this is something that we're looking to get productized so that you can have realistic rendering, but still be able to see inside the cockpits. I can tell you about a couple other things the graphics team is working on right now. We are working on performance, a couple things. We are working on moving the lighting calculations to the GPU in a new way that should make night scenes much faster, especially if you run at 4K or if you run in VR. We've also got an improvement coming to, come on, there we go, to how we handle materials in the world, which should help your CPU. And we are working on making the main frame rendering multi-core. And that's going to be something that unlocks a lot of performance for everyone because y'all have a lot of CPUs. Besides performance, the other big thing that the graphics team is spending our time on is new terrain rendering. We talked about this at our developers conference in Montreal, but we've started work on our next generation scenery system. So this is a picture of X-Plane with third-party scenery, and when we've got a third-party base mesh, the lighting model can do a pretty good job of creating a realistic view. But we've had this trade-off between detail and performance. So we're working on a new terrain mesh system with 3 goals. We want to be able to have performance and detail. We want to be able to stream the scenery, because our add-on developers have said we want to be able to stream add-on meshes. Having to have you guys download the entire add-on before they can fly it is kind of lame in 2024, and we're trying to create a scenery system where airport designers can edit and patch the local mesh around their airport and not have to recut a large tile. So this is work that's happening now. This was what I was working on the airplane on the way here, and what we'll get back to work on when we go home. And we're looking to get some of this stuff out in Q3 and Q4 of this year in our next updates. Let me turn it over to Thompson to tell you about the X-Plane store.
Yeah, so one project that I've been working on quite a bit recently is the X-Plane store. This will be a platform within the app itself and online to let you buy add-ons, aircraft, scenery, plugins. But that sounds kind of, pedestrian, and we already have that, right? But we've decided to do it a little bit better. So the plans for the X-Plane store will be integrated directly into X-Plane, which means that a lot of the points of friction in the current process of purchasing, downloading, installing, and then unlocking an add-on will be removed. This will all be built on a new X-Plane identity system that we're building currently, which will keep all of this in sync, whether you're on different computers or if you buy something on the web and then want to use it in X-Plane. We'll also update all of your add-ons for you, so you won't need to worry about what's up to date and what hasn't been done yet. You'll just be able to hop in and fly. And lastly, we're going to fix the DRM system for X-Plane. So for a while, to really protect the add-ons you make for X-Plane, you've had to make your own system or hop on someone else's third-party system. We're going to do a little bit better than that. For free, we'll offer to all developers on our store a built-in DRM system that does all the work for you. No fiddling with anything. So what does this mean for you guys, for the users? Well, it'll be a convenient shopping experience directly in the app, so you won't have to keep clicking away. It will download and install for you automatically. And it will also store your payment information. We won't. I don't want it. Stripe will. They're the professionals at that. And it'll also offer tools like Apple and Google Pay, so to make it as seamless as possible for you. It's also a win for developers because they get a lot more exposure. They will be within the X-Plane app itself. They get all of the DRM wins. And we're also focused a lot on the quality control. So I know that a lot of folks have had trouble with certain add-ons from certain companies, and we hope to really raise the bar on what's acceptable in a marketplace. One part of getting ready for the X-Plane store system is our new Websocket API. So as I was preparing these slides, I asked ChatGPT to, make a graphic explaining WebSockets to me. And I'm not going to try to explain this to you, and I'm not sure what it was thinking. The fact is, it didn't know what it was thinking. But let me tell you what it means. So the big thing about WebSockets for us are lowering barriers to entry to X-Plane. So with WebSockets, developers and most of you will be able to write applications that need data from X-Plane about all sorts of things, the state of the aircraft, how fast you're going, where you're going, what you're flying. You'll be able to get that data from X-Plane, and then on the way back, you'll be able to send data to X-Plane, either setting those values or sending commands to X-Plane. This will really unlock a lot of people to use all of this data that X-Plane knows about without having to make your own complicated plugin or counting on users to install that. The biggest thing that I'm excited about for this WebSockets API is just getting started. With modern AI tools like ChatGPT and Copilot, it is so easy to write code for the web if you don't know anything about code. I had an interesting little project that I started completely from scratch with no knowledge. Stop by the booth if you're interested in trying that out. But yeah, so it's really all about lowering the barrier to entry and making it easier on developers. So we have a partner of ours that is launching a new product right now for X-Plane using this API, and we're going to ask them up to tell us a little bit about it.
I guess there's a big play button here, and that'll do it. All right. Hi, folks. Thanks, Thompson. I'm Alex List. I'm a commercial multi-engine pilot and also instrument rated. My background is at the intersection of aviation and software. I'm friends with the X-Plane guys from my time at Beta Technologies, where I led the flight sim program for 2.5 years and built some of the best, and I'd say coolest half-dome sims on the planet. Today, I'm the CEO of a small startup called Airplane Team. And I wanted to tell you about a brand new product called FlyShirley.com. What I want to show you today hasn't been seen before and has the potential to open doors to a cockpit or to a career in AI, and ultimately to safer skies for all pilots. Shirley is your AI co-pilot, helping you fly smarter from sim to sky. Whether you're piloting a 777 across the Atlantic from your sim room or practicing crossing landings in a Cub, Shirley bridges the gap between sim and sky. Sadly, several of us at the X-Plane booth lost a friend in a plane crash earlier this year. When that happened, I decided to leave my job and try and build something to make flying even marginally safer if I could. But I also wanted to build something that respected the love for piloting that our friend had and that all of us here share. And so Shirley was born. Our product is like having a pilot friend next to you in your cockpit, a friend you can just talk to normally as you fly. So it can be, let's see here. It can be quite handy to find an airport when you're flying a Cub without avionics, or if you're in a gimbal helicopter where it's hard to take your hands off the controls. And if you're trying to debug an issue in a DA42 with their 700-page POH, Shirley can help with that. Or if your autopilot fails in IMC on your 172. Or if you just want to save time and money, backing up your checklist as you speak out the steps in your before landing flow. And if you just need to ask Shirley, hey, Shirley, what's the keyboard shortcut for doubling the speed of time? Well, Shirley's got you covered for that as well. So our vision has always been from sim to sky. Pilots who practice and learn with Shirley in the sim could later learn to fly with Shirley in the sky. This means that teamwork and skills developed in a sim could later be applied in the air and vice versa. That's a theme that's gone around a lot today. And because I knew it was going to take a lot of effort to run Shirley offline on a pilot's iPhone or iPad, not to mention the criticality of always delivering the correct and truthful information to a pilot who's piloting and actively operating an airplane. So a few months ago, Thomson reached out and said, hey, we know you're a flight sim guy. There's this awesome sim community. Why don't you launch for simmers first? I think he was onto something, because in launching for a knowledgeable group of pilots, in a controlled setting, we could better understand how aviators would interact with Shirley. What would they ask? What could we improve related to the responses to meet pilots' needs? And that's why we're launching Shirley for X-Plane 12, using the WebSockets feature first announced at the X-Plane Dev Conference and shipping with 12.1. Shirley easily connects to X-Plane directly from our web app. Shirley can receive position and attitude information directly from X-Plane. And so it feels like they're in the airplane with you, like a co-pilot, monitoring your flight, backing you up, while providing you with information to help you the entire way. So when you're out simming with Shirley and doing a visual inspection of the Statue of Liberty, you can ask, you can ask about everything around you, and you can say, hey, which way to the closest helipad? And while you could just ask Shirley, yo, Shirley, could you teach me to fly gliders? And it would work okay. There's so much awesome sim content out there on the internet right now, made by many of you here. We thought we could leverage that passion by providing an opportunity for all of you creators. And we call it challenges. How about we have Shirley tell us how it works?
Airplane teammate is up. Mic check when ready. I'm Shirley, your AI co-pilot. I provide assistance with flight operations, real-time information, and guidance through procedures. Your airspeed is now 72 knots. Climb rate and heading are stable. Following your current heading, you'll reach Plattsburgh International. Winds are 5 knots, gusting 15. Ready for the ultimate precision test? Introducing challenges with Shirley. Test your pilot skills with thrilling challenges. Think you can land like a real bush pilot? Try our shortest landing challenge and prove it. I'll guide you through each step and track your performance. Your landing distance was approximately 184 feet from your starting point. Great job. Now you can create your own aviation challenges.
So I'm thinking I'll just kind of break it up by phase.
Invent exciting scenarios, push your limits, and compete with friends or yourself.
It's a new version of the stall challenge, and so we're gonna go grab that. Okay, 1 notch and flaps are in.
Copy that. Reduce throttle, flaps down, and aim for the marked spot.
There it is. Thanks. Challenges with Shirley are an entirely new way of interacting with X-Plane. Challenges let you build, try, and remix missions made by you or other simmers, so you can train, compete, and have fun. And we want to make this a community thing, and so we intend to feature challenges made by community members, attributing to you and linking back to your Twitch or YouTube directly from our website. We'll also be streaming as we try out your work, the challenges that you make, and give tips and feedback on our Discord. In the coming weeks, we'll also be releasing additional challenges, including for vehicles such as Beta's Alea aircraft, and additionally new Shirley skills to use when you're building challenges. Challenges are really a great way to build familiarity and make the most of this new opportunity with AI. And we think you're really going to have a ton of fun using it. So in a time when companies are releasing AI copilots for everything it seems, except for flying, our product is like having a copilot friend sitting next to you in the cockpit, a real AI copilot. And best of all, by using Shirley, we'll all be part of something bigger than us, helping to bring this sort of technology, which started in Sims, to make it available for safer flying in the sky. Shirley is available today with a free trial at flyshirley.com and on a subscription pricing basis. You can stop by the X-Plane booth this weekend to try it in person and to complete in our STOL challenge. There's a Cessna and there's a Cub category, and winners get a free membership. So come through the X-Plane booth, try your luck at our STOL challenge, download X-Plane 12.1, create your challenge at flyshirley.com, and join us in building the future of flight from sim to sky, safe flying.
So, surely you can't be serious. Had to say it. Thank you, X-Plane, and the Fly Shirley thing. That's really cool. They got some really innovative things coming on the horizon. In fact, one thing that piqued my interest was the weather radar, because I know that's something we've been clamming for in another sim that I won't mention, but working weather radar. But what was your thoughts on the X-Plane updates?
That exposure setting was actually quite impressive. That one caught my attention. Yes. Like, I thought the middle one at first was the new setting, and they were showing the high, brights, and lows. Like, I didn't realize that once they said that was it on. That was impressive. That was a very nice change, and I could see other simulators taking some lead on that as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I love with that exposure setting as well, how like they really looked at kind of what is the physics of the light, but then also what is our experience of seeing it as a person.
Right.
And that was just really telling to me about how they approached the
Reality
building of
isn't
the sim.
always better.
Yes, exactly. Reality, and that is the thing. We are in a sim. Sometimes reality isn't the best for our particular thing. So we're going to do a couple things right now. We tried to show a Blackbird video earlier when we came back, and there was a little bit of technical goof. So we're going to re-show that here in a second. And then Evan is going to come back up and give you some instructions for the mixer that's going to be happening at the end. However, before he does that, I would like to say a special thank you to my fellow panelists, Factual Goal and Overkill Simulations, for joining me here on stage here today. Thank you so much.